Boston, Massachusetts. Beantown, home of the Celtics, the Bruins, and the Red Sox. Paul Revere's home, and Northeastern University. Boston is a bustling city with a nighttime population of nearly 600,000. During the day, that figure swells to well over 1 million.
In a city like Boston, made up of many multi-ethnic, diverse communities and neighborhoods within the city, it's a beautiful city, a lot of charm. It's a city that has many of the major hospitals, 33 or so major hospitals and medical centers, major universities. We have probably approximately 900 high-rise building structures that are over 70 feet in height. Many 6-story walk-up residential buildings in the Back Bay area. And I guess what we're known for too also are the what we call the 3-deckers with the rear porches.
Over 3 centuries ago, the Boston Fire Department had the distinction of being the first organized fire department in the United States. Today, the Boston Fire Department protects an area of 47 square miles. It's divided into 11 fire districts. They maintain 34 fire stations. There are 33 engine companies, 21 ladder companies, 2 heavy rescue companies, and 2 marine units. Special apparatus includes 1 air supply unit, 1 hazmat unit, a squirt unit, a mobile communications unit, and a special lighting unit. The department employs 1,577 sworn personnel and 88 civilians. In 1991, total calls were 44,586. 6,679 were for working fires. 6,479 were rescue calls. And 4,623 were for hazardous conditions. Other calls totaled 26,805. The 33 engine companies and the 21 ladder companies are manned by 1 officer and 4 firefighters. Rescue companies are manned by 1 officer and 5 firefighters. District chiefs are assigned 1 aide. On April 28, 1852, at 12 o'clock noon, the world's first electric fire alarm system was placed in service in the city of Boston. While the present communications building is not the original site of this famous alarm system, components from that original system are found throughout the complex.
At the present time in the city we have basic 911. The calls for 911 go into operations at the police headquarters, and the call takers up there would screen the call, and a fire-related type call would be transferred to our facility over here at the fire alarm on the Fenway.
The Fire Marshal's office is responsible for fire prevention, public fire education, construction plans review and approval, as well as arson and fire investigation. The unit maintains a structural arson conviction rate of 90 to 95%. Boston operates a computerized arson reporting system, which provides access to other city records. The unit consists of about 24 investigators.
We feel like we're a known force now out in the street, a real deterrent. We're still getting a number of building fires, but because of the detectors and because of good manning on the apparatus and so forth, they're not getting out of hand. We're getting there faster, and we're putting more resources on them right away, and they're not getting. We don't have the numbers of the big fires that we had previous to this.
Is anything undetermined, suspicious, or any multiple alarm or fatal fire, we'd respond to it. They try to take every fire, reconstruct it. The occupants, interview them. They can give you a lot of information. Sometimes they're evasive, but when you explain to them what you've done, they tend to realize that you know a little bit more than them, and they cooperate a little bit more.
Maintenance is an important part of any fire department. The department employs a staff of specialists to maintain the alarm boxes, breathing apparatus, and department communication systems, along with vehicles and buildings. Just a few years back, officials agreed to upgrade the city's aging apparatus. The delivery of new engines and ladders has become a common occurrence. The fleet has been upgraded to newer, more efficient rigs, and the firefighters have christened these new vehicles with pride. But because a number of the stations were constructed in earlier times, today's heavier apparatus created some special problems for the station floors.
Right now, this is an ongoing challenge. The city has been excellent, excellent. Right now, I have in the works 5 firehouses where we just tear up the main floor, pour a new slab to take all this weight. The equipment's great. Now you got to deal with the firehouses to handle all this great equipment. And it's just, it can be, safety is very, we're concerned about the safety of the firehouses and the equipment.
At this time, Boston is the site of some of the largest construction projects in the United States. No less than 3 major tunnel projects are currently underway, the longest of which is a 9.5-mile outfall tunnel, 26 feet in diameter, and it's being bored through solid rock by a tunnel boring machine. The other tunnels, being bored through soft earth, are even more hazardous because of potential gases and cave-ins.
Well, currently now we have 89 members trained in tunnel rescue, which was a course 40 hours in duration, which prepared our members for tunnel rescue incidents involving long-duration rescues and extrication procedures. So it's kind of a learning experience right from us because there hasn't been much tunneling activity in the Northeast region for a long time. So all this process of developing a tunnel rescue crew has been a learning experience to us in the Boston Fire Department.
In the high-value downtown area, the city maintains 2 water systems. Besides the usual low-pressure system, there's a high-pressure system as well.
High-pressure system in this city is on a separate main. Originally was fed by 2 high-pressure pumping stations, which were activated when an alarm of fire was transmitted in the high-pressure district. Today, both high-pressure stations have been dismantled and merged into one computer-operated, remotely operated high-pressure station, which is operated by the fire alarm office. When the fire alarm office transmits an alarm of fire downtown in the high-pressure district, they remotely activate the high-pressure station, which puts water into the high-pressure system at 125 pounds. The deputy chief in charge of the alarm can raise the pressure by notifying fire alarm. It's usually done in 25-pound increments. The system is separate from the post hydrant system. The post hydrants are identified by yellow top hydrants, the high pressure hydrants by red bonnet hydrants. The post hydrant system pressures can fluctuate anywhere in the city depending upon where you're located, can be from 40 pounds to 90 pounds.
Boston also has many narrow city streets where conventional hydrants are difficult to utilize. The solution is known as the Lowry hydrant, a series of underground manholes that access the water main and offer 2 2.5 and 2 4.5-inch connections.
They remove the Lowry chuck from the back step of the pump. It's then screwed into the ground, which is connected right into the water main. It's a somewhat slow operation, but it's very, very prosperous to us at times when hydrants are not available due to areas where they're subject to being knocked down with trailer trucks backing or narrow streets with no sidewalks. It's a very old system. It's still in operation. It's connected into the regular water main system in the city. Once the fellas get the hydrant screwed into the main, then they operate the main stem at the top of the hydrant, and water is available to them through all the connections, which are individually gated.
The Boston Harbor can get quite busy at times, and because of this, the fire department has 2 fireboats on line. The Firefighter is the largest of the 2, and until recently, it was not only the apparatus, but the station as well.
We just got the new quarters, so we've lived on this boat for, we just started living in the firehouse, so that's about a year. Up until that time, we lived on this. I've been on it about 11 years. I've lived on this boat for 11 years. The boat is 20 years old. And I prefer to live in a boat myself, actually.
The Firefighter is 76 feet long and has a beam of 19.5 feet. It has 5 heavy stream appliance monitors and is capable of delivering 6,000 gallons per minute. The boat also has 3 hydrants that can handle 12 lines. A new, smaller, and much faster boat has recently been placed into service. The city will conduct a school contest to determine a name for the new vessel. Boston, like many other major cities, has had its share of large conflagrations. There are over 900 structures designated as high-rise buildings. Partly because of a serious high-rise incident in one of the prominent skyscrapers downtown, the city enacted a special sprinkler law that mandates all classic high-rise buildings to be fully sprinklered and alarmed.
It happened in 1986, right after the first of the year. We had it ended up with an 8-alarm fire at the Prudential Building, downtown Boston, one of the highest buildings in the city. We had other high-rise fires, in the city over the years, but this particular one, because of the number of people that were still above the fire, it was, I think, a 52-story building, and we started on the 14th floor.
The high-rise sprinkler retrofit law will effectively eliminate the chance of a towering inferno in both new and existing downtown buildings.
Your next reading is going to be on the ceiling.
For many years, Class A foam has been used to combat forest fires. Recently, the efforts of the U.S. Fire Administration have led to the testing of Class A foam for structural or interior firefighting. Boston's Engine 37 has been selected to test the product.
Forestry people, if they didn't have enough help, were not allowed to go into buildings that were on fire, and they would stand outside and play it in, and they noticed that it had a definite quicker knockdown than just plain water. So it's kind of slowly evolved towards the structural people, and that's what brought it to us. Now the question is it any good? And we're trying to answer that. We've had it on board for almost a year now, and my personal observation is it does have some place in the firefighting service.
In time, a report will be released on this trial. And for sure, there are numerous parties interested in the results. This program is a good example of how changes take place in the Boston Fire Department.
We're blessed with an administration in this city that has taken public safety, the fire department is its #1 priority. And that certainly is very fortunate for us because the economy isn't good throughout the country. I think for any major urban city like Boston on the eastern coast, like Philadelphia, New York, they have similar characteristics both structurally and fire departments that are very similar. And I think it's tough times for cities like us, and it's tough to run a fire department with the economy the way it is. We certainly are blessed with new apparatus. The oldest apparatus that we have on the front line is a 1984. Everything else, the average age is approximately 5 years of the apparatus on the line, so that's important. Water is always going to be a basic and necessary ingredient as an extinguishment of fire, but people is something we can't forget, and that's the name of the game. You've got to have the adequate staffing to combat fire and to ensure the protection of those that are doing the job, and they do it well in this city.